Did The Chosen just affirm the papacy? I'm going to show you a clip and you can decide for yourself, but I think it's pretty clear that it did. The answer is yes. Before we get into that, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel here on YouTube, and after this video, support the channel by checking out the link in the description. Now, we all know the papacy is one of the foundational things that differentiates Catholicism from other branches of Christianity, and it can be said that if the papacy is true, Catholicism has to be affirmed as true as well, because the Orthodox deny the papacy and the Protestants of every denomination also deny the papacy. But what Catholics typically use to defend the papacy is the Bible passage in Matthew chapter 16, specifically verse 18, where Jesus says, "And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." Now, I was really curious to see how The Chosen handled this scene in the Bible, because depending on how you handle it, you could be thought to be affirming Catholicism. If you handle it a different way, you could be thought to taking sides against Catholicism. So it's a fine line to walk, and I wasn't sure how they were going to do it. I think the way they did it was very tasteful. Like, it wasn't overtly trying to affirm one or the other, but I think it does still undeniably affirm the Catholic understanding of that Bible verse and the early church's understanding of that Bible verse, by the way. Let's just watch the clip and you can tell me for yourself how you feel about it.
Okay. Well, that's everyone else. But who do you say that I am? You?
You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. These carved statues of Baal and Pan and other idols that we passed, they're dead and decaying, but we worship a living God, and you are his son.
Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah. For flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven. All your life, you've been called Simon, one who hears. But today, I call you Peter, rock.
It is on this rock that I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it.
All right, so we kind of saw there, they did it very tastefully, you know. They didn't overtly take one way or another, but he does step back from Peter. So he says, "You are Peter, rock," and he steps back and he says, "And on this rock I will build my church," right? Which you could take either way, just like the Bible passage could be taken either way. So they did a very good job in that scene of keeping it balanced and not taking a side one way or another overtly. However, after this scene, there are other scenes later where people complain about Peter's new role of authority among them. So let's check that out.
Anyone could have said it.
So why didn't you?
Why didn't you?
I thought it was the sort of thing where Jesus asks us a question as part of the teaching. Simon just spoke up first.
Not even sure we call him Simon anymore.
Do we? Jesus gave us a new name. We still go by James and John.
I said I don't know.
What are we going to tell Ima?
We're not going to tell her anything. She cannot know. Why'd you have to bring up Ima?
That should be enough for the night, no?
Yes. And considering Philip is out getting even more, it's plenty.
All right.
Apple?
Uh-huh, sure. Thank you.
There's plenty. You can have
If you
as...
wanted more than one, you would have asked.
Say that again. I'll take 3.
You? No. You stop. No, I'm all things.
She would have found out anyway. She always finds out about everything.
I don't get it. Is Peter, really the best disciple?
Did Jesus say best?
I have it written down. The word best was not used.
Does it matter?
Look, I haven't been here as long as some of you, so I don't know, but it does seem like Peter is the best. What are the top 3 or 4 at least?
Who are the other 3?
By what measurements are we determining this ranking?
Who said anything about ranking? What is this, the military?
The opposite, I believe he indicated.
I don't know. It is clear he is to be a leader.
Does that have to mean the rest of us are less important?
So you get the idea. They're like, is he really the best? And they're like, it's not about the best. There's not rankings, but it is clear that he is meant to be a leader. So I don't know. I just thought this was interesting. It's been interesting to see how The Chosen handles some of these different scenes. I'm looking forward to how they handle the institution of the Eucharist. Like, are they going to do it in a way where it seems like Jesus is referencing the bread as just a symbol of his body, or are they going to lean into the biblical understanding that the Eucharist is the body and blood of Christ? As you probably know, there's been a lot of controversy over issues like this with The Chosen in the past, where they've been thought to be affirming Mormon teachings, for example. I think that stuff is typically not true. I think they really do a good job of trying to be neutral. They do have people of many different denominations, and I think even atheists working on The Chosen. They do have a diversity of theology that goes into the show, and I think they do a good job of representing it pretty fairly. And it's funny, I haven't heard anybody talking about this scene yet, about how it clearly seems to affirm the Catholic understanding of that passage of scripture. I thought there would be more noise made about that on the internet, because I do think that I may be mistaken here, but I do think that most people who watch The Chosen tend to be Protestant. So I would think that they would have something to say about that, right? But so far I haven't heard anything about it, which is why I wanted to make this video. But I do think it's good that they went with this route, because it is the correct interpretation of that passage, and it's the way that the early church understood it. That's why people in the early church understood Peter to be the first among the apostles, the leader of the apostles, and that's why they understood his successors to also be the leaders of the church, at least the earthly leaders. We all know, I can already hear like Protestant objections popping up in my head. Jesus is the leader of the church, not Peter, not the Pope. And yes, we get that, but the earthly representative of the church, or the earthly vicar of Christ, is the Pope, who was Peter as the first Pope, and the bishops that succeeded Peter leads all the way up to the current Bishop of Rome, which is Pope Francis. So that's all I had to say about all of that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think this was affirming the Catholic understanding of this passage? If so, how does that make you feel? If not, why not? If you enjoyed the video, make sure you check out the link in the description, which is how you can support the channel and get access to exclusive content, including early access to videos that I post here, and also access to exclusive live streams, as well as more direct access to me personally. You can give me ideas for videos, you can ask me questions, and I'm usually very active there. So if that's something you're interested in, then check it out. All of the proceeds for this month of June from locals is going directly to the pro-life cause. I am not taking any money home from this for this month, and in the future I will continue to donate a portion of all of the income I get from YouTube and locals to causes that are near and dear to my heart and near and dear to the hearts of many Catholics. So if that's something you want to support, then check that link out in the description, and make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. And until I see you next time, God bless.